Believe it. Snakes have 3 odd things about them. The first odd thing is that when they are getting old, their eyes grow blind, and if they want to renovate themselves, they go away somewhere and fast for a long time until their skins are loose. Then they look for a tight crack in the rocks and go in and lay aside the old skin by scraping it off. Thus, we through much tribulation and abstinence for the sake of Christ put off the old man and his garment. In this way we may seek the spiritual rock, Jesus, in the tight crack that is the straight gate. The second odd thing about a snake is that when it goes to a river to drink water, it does not take its poison with it, but spews it into a hole. Thus we, when we come to the living water and, drawing upon the eternal, come to hear the heavenly word of the church, we also ought to cast the poison out of ourselves, that is, bad and earthly longings. The third odd thing is that if a snake sees a naked man, it is afraid of him. But if it sees him with his clothes on, it springs upon him. We can understand the spiritual sense of this if we reflect that when the first man, Adam, was naked in paradise, the serpent was not able to spring upon him. But after he was dressed in the morality of the body, the serpent did spring. Just so, if you are wearing the moral garment, that is, the old man, and if you are long-standingly of the evil days, the serpent will pounce on you. But if you rid yourself of the garb worn by the principalities and powers of darkness in this generation, then the serpent will not be able to pounce, that is, the devil. Further facts about reptiles are, by a diet of fennel, snakes can cure themselves of prolonged blindness, and thus when they feel that their eyes are getting overcast, they seek for the well-known remedies, nor are they disappointed in the result. The tortoise, which is nourished through entrails similar to those of a serpent, protects itself by eating marjoram when it sees a venomous creature sneaking up on it. If a serpent swallows the spittle of a fasting man, it dies. It is believed, so Pliny says, that if a snake can get away with only 2 fingers' length of the body attached to the head, it will survive. This is why it presents the whole body foremost in front of the head when a person goes to hit it. All snakes suffer from bad eyesight, and they seldom see forward, nor is this fortuitous since their eyes are not in their faces but in their temples, so that they can hear better than they see. No animal flickers its tongue so fast as a snake does, and for this reason they seem to have triple tongues where there is really only one. The bodies of snakes are damp, so that they mark the road by which they go with slime. Their tracks are such that they seem to have no feet, but they do crawl with the pressure of scales on the end of their ribs, which are arranged equally from the top of the throat to the lower belly. The scales are like claws, which rest upon the ribs as if on legs. When any part of the body, from the belly to the head, is struck with a blow, the snake is disabled and unable to get back onto its course, because wherever the blow fell, it broke the spine, by which the ribbed feet and the whole movement of the body are propelled. Snakes are said to live for a long time, the reason being that, when they have sloughed off their old skins, it is granted to them to cast off their old age and return to youth. The skins are called exuvii, because when they get old, they take them off. Exuant. You see, dresses and clothes are called dresses and clothes because you dress yourself in them and clothe yourself in them. Pythagoras says, serpents are created out of the spinal marrow of corpses, a thing which Ovid also calls to mind in the book of the Metamorphoses, when he says, some there are who believe that sealed in the grave, the spine-rotting marrow of humankind do turn themselves into serpents. And this, if it is to be credited, is all very appropriate, that just as a man's death was first brought about by a snake, so by the death of a man, a snake should be brought about.